And we're live.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Executive Committee of the Board of Directors of the Board of Regents, I should say. I'd like to please call the meeting to order. Would the Assistant Secretary please call the roll?
Thank you. Chair Ryan.
Here.
Regent Balducci. Absences noted. Regent Bloom.
Here.
Regent Howery.
Here.
Regent Wright. Absences noted. Chair Ryan, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I would like to first of all call for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries and the agenda is adopted. The action before the committee today is in response to the lifting of the public health state of emergency by the General Assembly and the phasing out of the remaining executive orders impacting CSCU during the spring of 2022. Clarification of the board's policy and its recommended guidelines are required before the beginning of our fall semester. Before we open the item for discussion, may I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. President Chang, Dr. Pritchard, and General Counsel Ernestine Weaver are here to present the staff report and the resulting resolution for consideration. I'd like to turn this over now to President Chang.
Thank you so much, Chair Ryan. Chair Ryan and Regent Howery and Regent Bloom, I hope you've been having a great summer. I appreciate your time, as always, to discuss and ultimately vote on our recommended amendment to this policy. I'll let Dr. Alice Pritchard, our Chief of Staff and Chief Strategy Officer for the system, explain most of the details because she has served as our system's primary COVID coordinator for nearly 3 years now. And so she knows every step that the system, our institutions, and our campuses have taken along the way. So I want to take a moment to thank her, Alice Pritchard, and of course, all of our institutional presidents and our campus leaders and their teams for all the hard work, the time, the effort, perseverating, planning, and the true care that they have invested since March of 2020 to manage this pandemic. It's been an incredible Herculean effort, and I'm deeply and personally appreciative of their work. I want to thank our faculty and staff. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. We would not have gotten through the pandemic without them because they're the ones who flipped their classrooms and services to continue to serve our students to the best of their abilities. The adjustment to the policy that we're proposing today simply continues the practice that we have been exercising all summer on all of our campuses. It's shaped by our institutional leaders and their teams who have managed COVID, and it reflects the confidence and experience we have in keeping our campuses safe. The policy change also keeps us in alignment with other state agencies and the state at large. Of course, we will continue to do our best to mitigate the effects of COVID on our campuses. The BOR has granted me this authority and charged me with this responsibility, and I am more than ready to continue doing so. I'll continue to work with our institutional presidents and all of our leaders across CSCU to maintain a safe and healthy learning environment for all of our students, our faculty, and our staff. We can't do our work without it, and that is exactly what we will continue to do. So as things evolve, we will do everything we can to be nimble and responsive and exercising this authority. And I appreciate the board having the confidence in me and the team and in all of us to uphold that responsibility. So with that, please let me hand this over to Dr. Alice Pritchard.
Thank you, President Chang. And I just wanted to take a minute as we are today suspending the vaccine mandate for students. And again, remind people that the vaccine mandate for employees went away in the spring. I did want to mention a few things we are doing so that people do know that we are still fully engaged in mitigation actions And so I thought I'd just run through a number of those. There will be a community message out later today that outlines these, so nobody needs to take notes. We'll have it out to the board and out to the community later today, but I thought I could run through a few mitigation actions, which some of which are different than we've done in the past 2 years of full academic activity. So we will continue vaccine distribution. The Department of Public Health has been a great partner in having vaccine vans available to come to our campuses, and we will continue to do that. That'll be very important as new vaccines come on, become available that address the more recent variants. So we're looking forward to continue to work with them and making sure that we get those vaccine vans out. We'll also make it public where else you can get a vaccine if campus is not a convenient place for you to do so. We will also continue to educate about the vaccine. Very important that even though we don't have a mandate, we still strongly encourage individuals to be up to date with vaccines. And so we'll continue to push out information available through the CDC and our local department or state Department of Public Health. We will have supplies available. We have been able to secure good pricing for masks and for antigen tests to make those available for those who don't have their own ready supply of those resources. We are not a general store for these items, but certainly want to make them available should individuals need them. But critically important in our work going forward is that people take personal responsibility. And so we need to continue to monitor our own symptoms. And the CDC has an ongoing list of those, and we'll make that list available again. And people need to follow the CDC's rules for quarantine and isolation when they have either been exposed or have become sick with the virus. So still critically important. People have been doing that since the very beginning, and it's critically important that they continue to do so. And we have one new tool in our at our disposal now, which is that the CDC has started a COVID-19 community level tracker system that looks at county level data, looking at hospital beds that are being used, hospital admissions, total number of new cases in an area, and ranks a community based on that scale. And it goes, and people have started to look at this, so I'm probably telling you things you already know, but it can go from low, medium to high. In instances when you get to high, the CDC strongly encourages individuals to wear masks indoors. And so we will continue to monitor this. It comes out on a weekly basis. As of last Friday's tracker, no county in Connecticut was in the red. We did have several that were in the orange and a lot that were in the green. And so it's going to be a weekly monitoring for us to make sure that we're staying in compliance with that. We have been encouraged by the State Department of Public Health and the Department of Administrative Services to follow that guidance in our buildings going forward. So those are the things that we are doing. Some things that did change. You will remember that we had a mask mandate in our state and on our campuses. We're now in a mask optional format, although we really do encourage people who want to continue to wear their masks to do so, and expect that everybody in our community will respect them for that choice that they are making. We have removed physical distancing. We are back to holding in-person events, and I know board members are excited to get to attend some of those this fall. And so those are some of the things that we don't have to do, or we can now do, that we had not been able to do in previous semesters. So the campuses are very excited to be fully repopulated and inviting both the community and their students and employees onto the campuses for a more robust set of activities this fall. But we will be mindful and vigilant in watching conditions. And we do talk regularly to the Department of Public Health, and they will let us know if they feel that things are not going as they should be, and we'll act accordingly. So I look forward to working with President Chang to exercise the authority that you've given him to guide the campuses should conditions change. And they've been nimble, and they'll continue to be so. So I too would like to again thank all the COVID coordinators who have worked over the last 2.5 years to keep our campuses safe and to stay on top of this pandemic. So I'll stop there, and happy to take questions or move along.
Are there any questions for Dr. Pritchard? If
I believe-
none, oh, Carrie?
I believe that Regent Bloom has his hand raised.
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm moving the amendment to the original resolution that you see on the resolution in front of you. The amendments are the items in yellow. And it's to particularly clarify the authority of the president of CSCU to take the steps that, in his judgment, are necessary to mitigate the effects of COVID-19, and to consider, just as Alice mentioned, various factors, the CDC, the regions, etc. So the purpose is to make clear that the president has wide discretion in handling in how to handle this, and that this may vary from place to place in the state depending on the circumstances, and that's up to the president. It would be up to the president to make those judgments.
Is there a second to that motion?
It is a friendly amendment, Chair Ryan, so we won't need a second, but I will read it into the record
Thank you.
with your
Is there any
permission.
dis-
Thank
any
you.
more- Thank you. Is there any further discussion? And since there is none, I'd like to call for the vote.
Chair Ryan, I do need to read
Oh,
Regent Bloom's proposed resolution into the record.
okay, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. With your permission, I'm going to read the entire resolution and just so that we have it on the record in its entirety, in its corrected form. Thank you. We have a policy regarding suspension of COVID-19 immunization requirements for students dated August 10th, 2022. Whereas all of the governor's executive orders related to the public health emergency declaration beginning March 10th, 2020 were lifted by the Connecticut General Assembly. And whereas the Connecticut General Assembly enacted Special Act 22-1 to address the orderly removal of COVID-19 safety protocols, such as masking, social distancing, mandatory vaccination of state employees, and other COVID-19 related measures by no later than June 30th, 2022 for all purposes. And whereas as public institutions, the Connecticut state colleges and universities have abided by the state's enactment in lessening its COVID-19 related restrictions. And whereas the above referenced student vaccination policy amendment does not lessen the authorization of the CSCU president to create and promulgate COVID-19 mitigation requirements for employees, vendors, visitors, and others to ensure the health and safety of everyone who frequents a board-controlled property. Therefore, be it resolved, the policy dated June 24th, 2021, regarding COVID-19 immunization requirements for students is hereby suspended until further notice. And be it further resolved that the Board of Regents restates its charge to the CSCU president to continue exercising this authority with the input of institutional and campus leaders across CSCU institutions and other state agencies, partners, and resources to adapt to and evolve with local, regional, and statewide conditions as related to the virus in ways that will allow CSCU to enact mitigation strategies with both broad approaches and targeted tactics to address the needs and circumstances of our students, faculty, and staff on all of our campuses.
Thank you, Pam. Yes, Holly, you have a question?
I just wanted to thank Regent Bloom for the friendly amendment. I think it very, very well clarifies the policy. And again, I know it's been said, but thank you to everybody involved. I think the last 2.5 years has been monumental in the effort required, and it is very much appreciated by the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? I'd like to add to what Holly, Regent Howard just said. I've been very, very impressed with the leadership of our wonderful system. No one misses a beat or skips a beat and works diligently for the welfare of this entire system. And it's very impressive, and it's very much appreciated by all of us. So thank you so much. Is there any other discussion? I'd like to call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your
Aye.
hand. Any opposed? Abstentions? The resolution is adopted. And as this is the only item of business before this committee, I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
Thank you.
afternoon.
If I may, the meeting is adjourned now, right?
Yes, yes, Irene.
The live stream is stopped.